Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Fix YouTube channel. I'm your host FPL Phillips, and today, only a few days after what was one hell of a game week 9, there's going to be a hell of a lot of price movements that could potentially all be happening tonight. So make sure you stay tuned throughout the video because there's a lot of big names looking to move up and down in price. Those going up could include two of the many Chelsea fullbacks selected right now. Is it the two who seem to be playing the most? You'll have to wait and see. A Man City midfielder again looks on the verge of a rise, and some people may be priced out of that move, so you definitely want to find out who that is. No surprises for guessing, to be honest, with the cues I've given. And also a big premium asset looking to drop in price tonight. All that to come as we get into the video tonight. If you have a question for me or any of our other FPL presenters, then feel free to leave it down below in the comments. And yeah, you can join up to fantasyfootballfix.com to help improve your rank, increase your team value, and give you the best chance of winning your mini leagues this season. So without further ado, let's get into it and try to help you price change your way into that top 10k. So here we are then over at the fantasyfootballfix.com website, and using the price predictor tool, we can obviously have a look at all those who are looking to go up and down in price tonight, and then have a bit of a deeper dive into some of the statistics using some of the other fantastic tools the website has to offer. And we can see right at the top there, Antonio, obviously first and foremost looking to go up again, this time to 8.2. He's at 108% progress, so looking very likely. Foden has also passed that 100% benchmark, and obviously FPL Nacho covered him, and he's been looking to rise for quite a few days now. So obviously Foden, after that fantastic 18-point haul in game week 9, has got a lot of new owners jumping on him. Still under 10% ownership as of right now, but he is rising at 1.2% per hour, the same rate of rising that Tielemans is getting after obviously having a few returns in a few different weeks now. And so people are deciding to hop on him. Priced at 6.4, is he still an option? Is he becoming an option rather? No one's really been considering Tielemans this season, but could he be a bit of a dark horse, and can he keep up this consistent run will be a big question. Joshua King, obviously a Watford forward who have some pretty terrible fixtures coming up right now, but with Dennis out and a nice fixture against Southampton, could this be the 1 week punt to take on a Josh King, or is now not the time with so many injury doubts at the moment? Cancelo also looking to go up in price, as was covered by FPL Nacho yesterday, and there's James and Chilwell that you can see as well. Obviously those two Chelsea fullbacks. In terms of the fallers, Cristiano Ronaldo is at minus 96% right now, so not quite over the 100% threshold, but could very well drop tonight, dropping at 0.4% per hour. Owners seem to be fed up of the Portuguese, but it will be interesting to see if United do in fact go ahead and change the manager before that Tottenham game or in the next coming weeks. Will Ronaldo again become an option even before the very nice fixtures start around game week 15? It's surely only a matter of time until Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is shown the door, and with the quality and talent in that squad that United have, surely a proper manager like Conte or Zidane coming in will be able to take over and do miracles with that team potentially and get them back into what could even be maybe a title race if they're very lucky, or more realistically into a battle for top 4, which might be coming quite competitive with obviously the top 3 spots pretty much nailed on this season. So yeah, that's going to cover all the predicted price changes for the day. There may be some others, and it's always important to say that price changes are not an exact science and they can change very quickly in a matter of time. So obviously we're never always getting 100% of the predictions right. You can check track of the latest ones over at fantasyfootballfix.com. You can find that using the link in the descriptions. But let's move on and have a bit of a deeper dive into some of the comparisons and having a look at some of these players and their underlying statistics over the last few game weeks. And now this is a very interesting tool that I wanted to use today to compare the Reece James and Chilwell debate that obviously has been talked about by quite a lot of people over the last number of weeks anyway, but we do have another week's worth of data, which when you've got such a small sample size with these two in terms of playing time is important and can often make all the difference. So having another look this week in preparation for game week 10 for those who were preparing to bring in either a Reece James or Ben Chilwell could be a key comparison to make. They're both around the very similar price, they're both playing with the same team, obviously with the same fixture. So realistically, what makes the difference with them is going to be appearance time, appearance starts, and obviously how much attacking potential they realistically provide to the team. So we're going to have a look at that, and we can obviously compare all different kinds of heat maps over here at the Fantasy Football Fix website, which is really cool. I really love using this feature when comparing two players. We can see that all the stats are incorporated into that. We can see with Reece James' shot map that he's had 5, whereas Chilwell has had 7. Chilwell really providing that option at the back post for Chelsea a lot of of the time, just as Marcus Alonso was doing in the early game weeks of the season. It seems to be a big part of Tuchel's system. In terms of attempted assists, though, Reece James is getting more of those. Chilwell, of course, 2 from corners, in fact. So, yeah, it's very interesting to note that as well. Other things are in terms of defensive stats and whatnot. But, yeah, it's very interesting to see all of those. And we can compare all of those maps as well. But what I really like to do is come down and have a look specifically at not just the total statistics, but the average statistics per 90 that we can use. And we can obviously see down here just below the expected normal statistics. Let me just make sure that that is all visible on screen for you guys. Yes, we can see that there. So obviously having a look at statistics per 90 is very, very crucial sometimes. And what I thought was really, really staggering when I first looked at this was that in terms of expected goals, Reece James is a higher statistic per 90 than Ben Chilwell. Now, obviously, a lot of Reece James's game time came from that Arsenal game where he did play very well and obviously earned a lot of XG through that game. But in terms of that, I'm still surprised in that terms of that statistic. And so Ben Chilwell, although that you can see the goals statistic speaks for itself per 90, Reece James actually, in terms of XG being higher, was something I was not predicted, I was not expecting to see. He also falls behind in terms of shots on target and shots in the box per 90, so it's interesting to see where that XG stat is coming from. And then what kind of I did expect was in terms of creativity, Reece James leads the way by quite some distance in regards to those stats. So goal assists, expected assists, attempted assists, big chances created, and crosses. Reece James tops Chilwell in all of them. And what's important to consider here, I think, that is realistically defenders score a lot of more points for a goal than they do for an assist. They just double, right? So obviously, if you can get a defender who's consistently scoring or even just has a better chance of scoring, that improves your chances by so much. If you think about forwards, they get 4 points for a goal and they get 3 points for an assist. So realistically, having a striker who gets a lot of assists compared to goals isn't that much of a big deal. But if you've got quite a big split in comparison with players like this, James and Chilwell, if Chilwell was leading all the attacking stats for etc. in terms of goals and goal threat, then you'd probably edge towards him just with that points difference alone, simply because you'd rather take, even if it is a slimmer chance of scoring a goal, over a more substantial chance of getting an assist just because of the points difference. And realistically, I think that is what leads the way and what does make Chilwell the better option, and that does come to my conclusion on the two of them. I don't think that I'm opposed to having both even. I think that that is a case of having bench coverage. When I did the Algorithm 11 video last week, you'll see I had Chilwell and James both in that. It went very well in the Norwich fixture, of course. Not that the entire game week went very well, but yeah, that did work out. And obviously I had cover on the bench with some midfielders, some budget midfielders, with Smith Rowe, with Gallagher, with other options at that price point, and Mbumo, etc. We can have cover on the bench just in that position, and also up front with Brozier at 5 million as well. There's not many premiums in the game who a lot of people are looking to jump on. Obviously Salah is in everyone's team right now who's playing the game properly, and obviously there's a few like Son and Kane and Vardy who realistically none of them have been shining and none of them are looking to get too many in. So going big at the back with defenders who may be considered more of a rotation risk or for other reasons, then I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good tactic, and if I had a wild card, I'd probably be jumping on something like that along those lines with some more budget players in midfield and attack, and going with some big defenders, taking punts and hoping that they either get 90 minutes or don't appear at all, which could be the case, or you could also get 1-pointers as we have seen. So it's a bit of a calculated risk, but I think in the long run it's worth it, and for now at least with those Chelsea fullbacks it seems very hard to turn your nose up at either one of them, to be honest. So yeah, if you don't have Chelsea defenders in your team already and you're looking to get some in, I wouldn't really be too concerned about playing it safe with a Rudiger or an Azpilicueta. We've seen Azpilicueta is expendable already, and so my first pick would be Chilwell, then it would be Reece James, then Rudiger, then Azpilicueta would be my order of Chelsea defenders to go for. And I hope that helps some of you as we move on to our second analysis of the video. And specifically, one other tool that is one of my personal favourites on the Fantasy Football Fix website, amongst many, admittedly, is the Transfer Stats tool, because it's a very, very cool way of seeing and just having a bit of a deeper dive, just not into only simply transfers out numbers and transferred in numbers, but seeing what the most popular transfer combinations are for this game week. And you can use other tools in the Fantasy Football Fix website as well to see your recommended transfers and things like that, and see and compare if other managers are doing similar things to you, and if they aren't, what are they doing instead, and do you want to consider that, which is also a really big help and can often make a lot of cool thinking opportunities for you, or give you some headaches on the other hand, and some which are often good things in FPL to make sure you're considering all the bases and making your right decision, coming to the conclusion you want to without actually ignoring or missing out or not failing to see an option that you could be potentially bringing in or taking out this week. And so obviously we can see the transfers in across FPL this game week, and a lot of those names who are looking likely to rise are there. Antonio's still getting a lot of transfers in, is quite substantial. You know, he's still being consistent, and he's obviously grabbed another goal this week, and he's got a 7-pointer, which is enough reason for people to stick with him or even bring him in, those managers who don't already own him. But we can see in the top 3 here, Mount and Chilwell are in there, as well as Phil Foden of Man City. Salah still up to 4th. Somehow it seems impossible that people in the game don't own him already. But yeah, it seems that some people don't. And then the transfers out is in particular of importance to me, because I think that Ronaldo, which was one of the main droppers, is going to be an interesting one to have a bit of a look at and see what people are going for here. Because obviously there's been a big talk about, do you want to go with a Vardy? Do you want to go with a Kane? Is sticking with a premium forward even worth it? Or do we want to downgrade to someone like a Tony, who's top of that list, for example, and upgrade elsewhere in midfield, perhaps to bring in a Heung-min Son for more of a budget midfielder? So bringing out someone who's cheaper in midfield for a Heung-min Son, which is a popular decision this week. And it seems that 24% of managers taking out Cristiano Ronaldo have decided to do that and go for Tony. 16% going for Vardy, making that 40% between those two in total, which is, you know, almost half, which is quite a substantial amount. And then Hwang is the 3rd most popular option, so another budget striker. Jesus, Kane and Aubameyang are also there, with Antonio obviously as the other one. One player that I thought would be there, and that if we scroll down I might see, we don't actually see, is Brozier of Southampton, who obviously is yellow flagged at the moment, so something to keep an eye on, of course. But Brozier, I think, is one of my favourite picks at the moment in terms of budget and value. He's got relatively decent fixtures with Watford up next, which I'm sure will be very, very nice for Southampton. Hopefully they can grab something there for all the people who are jumping on the Livramento hype and the Brozier hype. Then maybe he can reward owners. But Ronaldo to Josh King, 2.6%. As mentioned, he's one who's looking, he could be going up in price tonight. And obviously a lot of casuals will be bringing him in after seeing him score a hat-trick. But personally, just don't see that becoming a regular occurrence with Josh King. He's obviously playing for a Watford side who, he's amongst the rotation anyway, even if they didn't have terrible fixtures, unless Dennis, obviously, when Dennis is fit. With Dennis out, Josh King's got a better chance of getting more minutes. But I definitely still wouldn't go for Josh King, and I don't think that is representing a number of players in the game who are playing with, you know, loads of experience and not just looking at total points, to be honest. Just to speak cold hard facts, to be honest, realistically. So who would I go for out of all these options? Well, I genuinely do agree with the 24%, so nearly a quarter of managers taking out Ronaldo. I probably would downgrade to Tony. With those fantastic fixtures up for Brentford next, it seems almost too good an opportunity to pass up on. With Mbeumo out, will that impact people? Well, I saw some fantastic threads on Twitter earlier about how the stats are affected with Tony and Mbeumo when one of them is off the pitch, for example. Obviously, Tony and Mbeumo have been creating chances left, right and centre for each other, the most popular combination often being Tony creating them for Mbeumo. So will that limit Tony's threat in terms of assists, or will it actually play into his hands, as he's going to be the one relied upon if Mbeumo is out to actually finish the chances for Brentford and become more of that finisher and grab some more of the goals as he was doing in the Championship last season? He's also got penalties on him, and so I would personally downgrade to a Tony, or if you want to go even a bit cheaper to afford that extra million or so, then you could go for someone like a Brozier would be my second choice. But Hwang is also in the debate, and that will be an interesting one to compare for things like the Algorithm 11 video that we'll be doing this week, when obviously a few of those strikers had some great fixtures this week. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this week's, this day's rather, predictions video in terms of prices. Now let me know if you enjoyed it down below, of course, and we'll always leave comments down below as well for any questions that you have for all of us. We always love answering all your questions, and always, especially in my videos, I will be down in the comments on my own personal account to reply to them. You can subscribe to my channel down below, link is in the description if you want to as well, and see a bit more of my ugly mug and catch up on how much of a disaster of a game week 9 I had, if you want to make yourself feel better if yours didn't go particularly well, or if you just want to take the mick or have a bit of a laugh at how badly my team managed to do. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for tonight's video. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will catch you all tomorrow night. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.